right, mates? Here is one very special piece of tech. I'd even call it a unique of its kind. But what's so special in a tablet, you can ask? And it is a tablet indeed. Well, not only it's of a very rare size or diagonal, it's right under the 9 inches, it's 8.8 inches diagonally, so very rare Android tablet size, and it draws my attention and praises right away because it's much more comfortable to hold than any 10, 11 or more elephant size of any tablet, but also it's unique in a way that it's a gaming tablet, so almost only one of its kind. The only probably rival I can recall, it would be the Red Magic Nova gaming tablet, if I'm not mistaken with that long name, but that one only appeared around less than a year ago, but this one, Lenovo Legion Tab, it's already the third generation of this Legion Tab family or series. And yes, that's a representative of the famous Lenovo Legion gaming devices, mostly known as Legion laptops. But this is a tablet, and that's why it's so unique. You barely ever run into any Android gaming tablet, as well as maybe iOS. But nevertheless, so I'm certainly gonna review it, and I can say it right away. It is a spoiler, absolutely, that I've got so fascinated about not only its hardware but also the software, which is obvious that Lenovo has gone a long path, long distance, maturing and polishing its software. So I'm amazed generally, but we need to definitely start from the very beginning with the design. Right. Firstly, the design, and for a gaming tablet, design really matters, as you'll be interacting with it for quite a long time while playing. And you need, firstly, to have it quite comfortably laying in your hands, so it should fit your hands. And you can see that I can even hold it with one hand and operate with other my hand on the screen. So, like, size-wise, it's just what's needed, what's meant for gaming. Not big, not small. Why it's not big? Because when I compare it to quite a standard, that's only 10.6 or 10.9 standard size for a tablet. This one looks bloody small, but it is not small by any means at all compared to standard phone size. And this is a big phone, 6.8 inches diagonally, 8.8 inches, but the difference is huge, I'd say. It's big difference between them, and this screen is just what's needed for comfortable gaming. But we're talking about the design, this standard for consuming content and gaming 16:10 aspect ratio. What else? Yeah, the backside, the backplate is again just meant for gaming, as it's not slippery at all. It's not smooth. Just listen to it. Yeah, I love the sound. It's sand like finish on the back. So not slippery, it won't slip out, even if your hands got wet while playing. Great thing again, very thought through design. The only thing I'd like it to have, but it's not here, the LED lights, as on the gaming phones. All the gaming phones, respectful gaming phones, have the LED lights, but it's not here. But that's only a nitpick from my side. Overall, it's a great, absolutely thoughtfully and mindfully designed tablets. You see that speakers are located at the upper half of the sides. Both speakers are here, and the grids for speakers are huge, and the sound is absolutely great. So when you play and hold it in landscape mode as it is. In most of the games, you do not close the speakers with your hands or with your fingers. Speakers are free to go. So again, very thoughtful design. And there is one more thing to that. There is an additional USB charging port, so you can have your USB cable right here while playing, and it has the bypass charging technology that separates the power from the USB separately to power the SoC, the processor, to continue gaming, and the other power stream goes to feed the battery, so it won't heat even if you charge it while playing. Again, one more thing contributing to Lenovo's thoughtful design. So overall, it's all good, all beautifully designed tablet. I just love the design. Now, let's run by the specs, as specs are utterly and ultimately important for a gaming device. So what we've got here under the hood, firstly, it's the Chinese version, apparently, and obviously, of this Lenovo Legion Tab. Hopefully it stands for Tab. And yes, there is a global version of this tablet called Lenovo Tab Gen 3, but firstly, it's only available, that global version, in black color, and secondly, the price is kind of 20 to 30% higher, around $500 or euros, but this one costed me 400 euros, so a bit different in price. And the most important thing, I've experienced no problems at all using a Chinese device. The Play Store is fully functional, very easily installable. I showed it in my unboxing video. And secondly, the notifications, the crucial thing for Chinese devices. All the notifications come through and pop up on the lock screen and here on the notification shade, absolutely timely, with no delays. So no problems as for the Chinese version. The SoC processor is the last year's flagship Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Yes, the 8 Elite wasn't yet available last year, and we might even not need it, as this one is absolutely powerful enough to run any game thrown at it at highest available FPS, so no problems at all. The system, it still runs on Android 14, and some tablets could not even get one major update, but the global website of this tablet promises 3 major OS upgrades, so we're looking forward, hopefully shortly, to receive Android 15 and 2 more Android updates, which is absolutely marvelous for a tablet. The screen, firstly, it's crystal clear. It has crazy high resolution, 2.K resolution, which gives absolutely marvelous density, on par with some even flagship phones, like the Honor's latest flagship phone has around the same density. And the brightness, let's have a look at brightness. The brightness goes up to mental 900 nits high brightness mode. That means in auto mode it reaches up to 900 nits, which is just bonkers for a tablet which you will use probably mostly indoors. So 900 nits is more than enough for any scenario. The refresh rate, now I set it to 120 Hertz, and it can go down to as low as 30 Hertz. Yes, not 1 Hertz, but for an IPS panel, yes, that's the elephant in the room. It's not AMOLED, neither it is an OLED. It's an IPS panel going down to 30 Hz, which is again absolutely mental for IPS going so low with the refresh rate. And not being an AMOLED, it can produce not that crazy deep, true deep black color. That's don't worry, that's the gray color. It has black color on the screen. Don't worry, but of course, AMOLED screens will have deeper black color. So maybe that's the only downside. But on the flip side, we've got zero flickering, and for people sensitive for flickering, that's the relief, that the lifesaver. You can play as long as you want, not harming your eyes. The memory is again the latest and fastest, 12 gigabytes of LPDDR5X. That X stands for the latest generation. The internal storage is UFS 4.0. Let's check up on it. Yeah, UFS 4.0. The RAM speed is crazy fast. So again, on par with flagship phones, camera. And yeah, cameras are usually rubbish, absolutely rubbish on tablets, but here we even have 4K video option. So you can sometime, on occasion, film pretty good video. And we also have a secondary macro camera. It even has a dedicated macro mode with it, and it can really take macro photos. Yeah, you see. So again, just mental good for a camera on a tablet. The battery is 6,500 milliampere hours, which is not the largest battery for a tablet. Some modern phones, like the latest Realme flagship, has a bigger battery of 7,000 milliampere hours, but this battery provides this feather-like weight, feather light. It's of very lightweight, so it's very easy and comfortable to grip. And we have, on top of that, we have very fast charging, 68-watt fast charging, no wireless charging. We probably don't need it for a tablet. And yes, we've got 2 charging ports, so you can play while charging. Again, great advantage. And what else? We still have the latest and the fastest, I believe, Wi-Fi version. That's Wi-Fi 7. So the internet speed would be absolutely great. So overall, the hardware, the specs are on par with some flagship phones even. So that's just bonkers for a tablet. Now comes the most exciting part of this review, and surprise, it's not gaming, not the performance, because as expected, gaming is simply stellar. Having that mighty chip and memory under the hood, it easily handles any game thrown at it at highest FPS and all that bollocks. So boring. What's anything but boring is the system itself, the software, the functionality, and I am just amazed and fascinated of how well Lenovo has polished its software, because majorly, and I look at my children's Xiaomi tablets pretty much lag behind the phones in functionality, including all those new coming features like AI and all that bollocks. So, but here, let's start from the beginning, from a lock screen, and here we have at least 3 fabulous features. First of them being the double tap, working 2 ways to lock or unlock the screen. And what's so special in such a simple feature is that it works instead of the power button. Not many other phones have this double tap working 2 ways to lock and unlock. And now I absolutely don't need and I use the power button. The next thing is again attention to details, unlocking button. This mechanism, it goes anyway, it adjusts to any hand being used, whether I'm left-handed or right-handed. I can unlock it from any side of the screen. That's great to have. That's a very simple but great to have feature. I mean, I want to show you how well polished to details this software is. And yeah, the third absolutely fabulous feature is this full YouTube control. Playback control. You see I can scroll back and forth across the video from the lock screen, not unlocking, so I can get back to the moment I want to hear over. I can pause the video. I haven't seen any other, except for Google Pixels, phones having this full control of the playback on the lock screen. So let's go further on. The next thing is the personalization. Here it's called personal customization, and I, again, being quite an adult man, I love playing with these theming things. This theming works very well across the system. You see, one tap and everything in the system settings goes yellowish, let's call it this way, and it goes further on. It can make almost all the icons follow this style. Voila! Almost all the icons supporting that recoloring now follow this overall system color style, and we even have this monochrome theme toggle, and everything goes monochrome. I love that from Nothing OS, from Nothing phones. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I love it. Let's go to some eye-pleasing theming, and of course there are many other things to play in the interface, including these charging options and other bollocks. The next thing, and it's how it should be, I'll show you now how it should work, the multitasking. Let's get to YouTube, let's play something, we watching something on YouTube, and we can call up this taskbar, and we can go either split screen, or let's do it again. No, let's do it again. We can go floating window with any other app, not only with once on the taskbar, but also with let's try it with any other app. So that's again marvelous. I love it. This again, like scrolling across the launched applications with 3 fingers. It's great, as great as going straight to split screen with the double tap with 3 fingers. There is a separate, even a separate section going for floating windows, split screen, with the multiple options like double tap, 3 fingers. Next, what we have, open from the app menu. Yeah, we can go to almost any app supporting this, and we can go to open this app as a floating window or as a split screen, and choose any other supported app to go split screen. So all these things are just meant for big screens, and it's how it should work. Floating windows, smart split, sorry. So it's almost all the same, but with different variations, and I love it. The last but not least interesting bunch of feature or section is again those AI services, and here is where tablets probably don't get those AI features, but we've got it here, all 3 options. The first option does who the bloody knows what, and where its Chinese origin steps in. I've got no idea what it does. But 2 other options like AI live captions, they are familiar for you from many other phones. It works here. We can go with live captions on YouTube or any other video playback. We can switch it off right from the menu. And this thing, it's almost a circle to search feature. It works with holding 2 fingers on any screen. And yeah, we can circle something to be explained, but only in Chinese. Yeah, it's a Chinese tablet, so some drawbacks are unavoidable. AI translate to English, okay. AI summarize. It summarizes the text, not the picture, not the icon, but it works. We can try anything else, and it can summarize it in English. Yes, summarize all. You see, there is only choice of English or Chinese, and it summarizes, yeah, pretty perfectly, almost perfectly. So it's absolutely amazing to have all those features have here on a tablet. A dot with the polished software. We'll talk about gaming assistant and gaming features separately further on, but the software is just great. And now we've come up to the major theme about this tablet, and that's of course gaming. And for the gaming, we've got both good news and bad news. I'll start with the bad news. The bad news is that this Legion Zone app, being an app to tune up and maybe to monitor your thermals or your major functions, being the CPU speed, GPU speed, this battery level, this RAM and internal storage utilization rate, all in Chinese with no hope to get it working in English. Even though the tablet system is set to English, this thing works only in Chinese. So that's only the bad news. I know that this means some acceleration of the processor, but we basically don't need it as any game runs at highest refresh rate. So that's all the bad news. The good news, however, is that you still able to set up all your gaming experience in English as granular setting as you need it. We've got the whole separate section, Game Assistant, in the settings, and here are like quite a lot of settings to play with. Usually I don't enter this section. I'm only showing you what it can do, starting with switching it off or on it, meaning the gaming assistant, on and off for any application, any game and any application. You see that I switch it on for YouTube. I'll show you what it does. And the other things is setting up your gaming view. You can go from full screen view to some ultra wide view, leaving those black bars at the bottom and at the top of your screen, but I can't imagine that you would like to do that. You can even go to some extreme view. It's pretty stupid view. Of course, I use the full screen view for all my games, and you should do the same. And I believe it's set by default to have this full screen view. This gaming island is on by default, and that's a fascinating thing to have it on. The bypass charging is one of the things you really need. It's one of few things that you indeed need, because it can charge separately your motherboard and your battery, so you can plug the charging cable during your gaming, and you'll set no harm. You'll bring no harm onto your battery and onto your processor. It will not overheat. The
screen refresh rate is set to intelligent because I've never come across any game that can run on this crazy 165 Hz, but you can try to set this maximum high refresh rate, like force the games to run on this high refresh rate. But in practice it's mental. But in practice I tried it with my favorite Asphalt 9 when it only ran on 60 FPS, and it did the opposite. That's mental. It downgraded my refresh rate to some 50 FPS or whatever, and then I noticed this small text that it can cause some compatibility issues, reducing the refresh rate, so you don't need it, believe me. And that's semi-real vibration. It's again unfortunately only available for some Chinese games, but I assure you it has one of the strongest vibrations you can feel with the tablet. And as well for the sound is one of the strongest sounds for a gaming device. So let's now try it on in some real game. I'll start with a portrait oriented game here, and you can see that what we've got is basically this gaming assistant with all those settings, acceleration, but I've never used it because it runs so bloody fast. That's the current, I guess that's the Wi-Fi speed, it's okay. What I use, of course, is this manual slider for the brightness, this second manual slider for sound, and of course I use this floating window. It shows, you see that it shows the current frame rate and it's in real time, but you can tap on it and extend it to see your processor utilization, your motherboard temperature, your current battery level. I don't need all of that, I only need the refresh rate. And yeah, you can hear that the sound is crazy, and watch the sound, it's like the half of the sound strength. The sound is just so loud and so good, it's very vibrant, I'd say. Here is it's in YouTube style, and you can choose your wallpaper right here. And you see that YouTube runs with very variable frame rate, from down even to 33 or even lower than 20 FPS. Yeah, the sound is absolutely crazy good, crazy. It's one of the best sound on a tablet. And now that's enough for theoretical talking. Let's get to the games. So here is my all-time favorite, it's Asphalt 9, yes. I just love this game, how fast and how adrenaline filled this game is. So I just love it. Just let's have some fun. Yeah, now it runs up to 120 FPS, and you see that the FPS meter or this FPS monitor is real, because the FPS rate can vary from 100 to up to 120. Oh, now I've spotted some 90 FPS, so it's real, it's not some gimmick. So overall I love this game. 120 FPS, give it so much adrenaline, so much excitement, sorry, and listen to this crazy great sound. And now the game. I say the because you see the frame rate, it's crazy, 105 44 FPS. So the speed and dynamics of this game, of the gameplay, is just so fast. I barely can keep up at speed with the players, with the gameplay development. So it's bloody beyond all the limits. It's so fast, so dynamic. Maybe the most dynamic game of them all in the Play Store. So you see this crazy speed. It's just mental of how fast everything's going. Here is the PUBG Mobile. I'm sorry in the first place because I'm absolutely awful in this game. I've got no idea what to do, but I'm showing you the highest, again, FPS available for this game. The highest I've ever seen before was maximum 90 FPS, and here we got 120 uninterrupted, absolutely no drops at all. 120 FPS gameplay. So shall I shoot at someone? Right, time to wrap it up. As I already said a lot, mostly good things about this tablet, as it obviously fascinates me from both hardware, which is expectable, but also from software perspective, which is surprisingly so well polished for a tablet, not comparing it to phones, which obviously have wider functionality, but for a tablet, especially for a gaming and Chinese tablet, it's so matured in its software that I'm just amazed. And of course, I missed some functions and probably some even apps with potentially useful functionality, like this security app, but I rarely, if even, use it. So the bottom line, even given its Chinese origin with all the Chinese peculiarities which you can't avoid, you will come across some Chinese text despite the system language being English. But overall, this tablet is one of the best, if not the best, gaming tablet for indoors usage. I highlight the word indoors as it doesn't have either SIM card to use it on mobile internet or even the GPS to use it in navigator. It doesn't have both. So it's mostly for indoors usage, but for gaming, which is mostly done indoors, this tablet is probably one of the best on the market. The best thing about it is its absolutely golden standard size. And further on, so I'm wrapping up, and further on, please comment what have I missed, what have I not covered, which games run on which FPS. So I was very pleased to see or hear you all so far. Cheers!